Do Animals Adapt by Bobby Coleman. Why do animals adapt? Sometimes, when there are big changes in an animal's life, the animal has to change to stay alive. Changing to suit a new habitat is called adaptation. Animals adapt to find food, survive hot or cold temperatures, and escape danger. The animals that adapt easily are the ones that have the best chance of staying alive. Most penguins live in icy cold areas, but yellow-eyed penguins make their nests in forests near ocean shores in New Zealand. They have adapted to living in a much warmer habitat. Old and new adaptations. Many animal adaptations have happened over hundreds or even millions of years. Some happen more quickly. Adaptations can happen in the body or in the way an animal behaves. The Arctic fox lives in a very cold part of Earth, which is covered in ice and snow. It has thick white fur and tiny ears. Small ears keep heat inside the body of the fox. This coy wolf pup lives in a city park. Coy wolves are part coyote and part wolf. Their bodies and ways of life have changed to survive living near people. What do you think? How are the ears of the Arctic fox different from the ears of the fennec fox on page 8? Why do you think the Arctic fox is white in winter? Changing how they move. Changing the ways they move has helped some animals get from place to place faster. Birds and bats made one of the biggest adaptations when their bodies changed so they could fly. Other animals have also adapted their ways of moving to suit new habitats or keep themselves safe. A dolphin is a mammal. Its flippers are made up of fingers under its skin. It uses its flippers to swim. Fingers. Bats are the only mammals that fly. Many years ago, they were small animals that lived in trees. Their bodies changed so they could find more food. Their long fingers now support their wings. Climbing trees. Most kangaroos hop along the ground, but one kind of kangaroo climbs trees and lives up in the branches. Tree kangaroos have adapted to living in trees because forests grew in their habitats, and they could find more food up in the trees. Kangaroos that hop, short tail, long back legs, short front legs. Tree kangaroo, claws, long front legs, short back legs, and a very long tail. The bodies of tree kangaroos cause them to be clumsy on the ground, but allow them to climb trees easily. Tree kangaroos have claws and pads on their feet for gripping the tree bark, a long tail for balancing, and shorter back legs than the kangaroos that hop, shown left. Short back legs are better for climbing. Adapting to deserts. Deserts are dry places with very little rain. Few plants grow in deserts because they are so dry. So animals that live there must adapt in order to find enough food and water to stay alive. Camels, for example, store fat in humps on their backs. The fat provides them with energy when they cannot find food or water. Some animals live in burrows or holes to stay out of the sun. Burrow. The body of the fennec fox has adapted to its hot, dry desert home. Its long ears allow heat to escape from its body and to hear prey moving underground. The fox gets water from the food it eats. To hide from the hot sun, the fox spends most of its day in an underground burrow it has dug in the sand. The dromedary camel, 1 hump. The Bactrian camel, 2 humps. Camels are suited to the desert habitats in which they live. Excuse me. They have 1 or 2 humps that are filled with fat. When they cannot find water for a long time, their body breaks down the fat into food energy. Camels have also adapted to keep water from leaving their bodies. They very rarely sweat. What do you think? The colors of the fennec fox and camel blend in with their sandy habitat. How does blending in keep these animals safe? Winter adaptations. Some animals live in cold places for all or part of the year. Body adaptations and changes in behavior keep them warm in freezing cold temperatures. The snow leopard has adapted to winter in its Rocky Mountain home. The leopard's thick fur keeps it warm. Its long tail helps it balance. Its big chest helps it breathe the thin air high up in the mountains. The leopard's big paws help it walk and climb in snow. A bear sleeps during much of the winter. It wakes up on warmer days to stretch or snack on stored food. What do you think? How do you keep your body warm in winter? How are your winter adaptations the same or different from those of animals? Leaving their habitats. Canada geese. Many animals migrate or move to other habitats to escape cold weather, find food and water, or have babies. Many kinds of birds, such as Canada geese and Arctic terns, migrate to warmer places for the winter. Arctic terns migrate the farthest. They fly from the North Pole to the South Pole and back again. Humpback whales migrate from cold oceans to warm oceans to give birth to their calves or babies. The mothers and calves swim back to the cold oceans when the calves have put on enough fat to keep them warm. Some animals lose their homes because people cut down forests or build farms where the animals once lived. This baby elephant has gone under an electric fence built by a farmer, but its mother is not able to fit under it. What do you think? Why do people travel in winter? Why do they move from one home to another? How many times have you moved? Why did you move? Living in groups. One of the most important adaptations animals have made is living in groups. Animals that belong to families or communities can help one another find food and keep safe. Examples of animal groups are monkey troops, lion prides, dolphin pods, and meerkat mobs. Meerkats live in mobs of 20 to 30 members. They live in large underground homes. Groups of meerkats guard their homes and watch for predators while others look for food. Working together helps keep these animals alive. Above, groups of Japanese macaw monkeys, also called snow monkeys, keep warm in pools that are heated by nature. On the right, the monkeys groom or keep one another clean as a way of being friendly. What do you think? Name 5 groups that are important in your community. How does each group give you the things you need to keep safe and be happy? The great predators. Some animals have developed coloring or patterns on their bodies that help them blend in with their habitats. This is called camouflage. Camouflage helps hide them from predators or prey. Many animals also use mimicry. Mimicry makes animals look like plants or other animals, making it hard to tell what or where they are. Did you guess that this scary-looking animal is a small insect called a praying mantis? Leaf insects look and move like leaves on which they live. They are hidden by camouflage, and they rock back and forth to mimic leaves being blown by the wind. Praying mantises often mimic flowers, leaves, and branches. This mantis is called a spiny flower mantis. What do you think? Name 5 ways you mimic other people or things. How, when, and why do you do it? What costumes have you worn? When do you wear them? New kinds of animals. The bodies of some animals have changed so much that it is hard to believe that they are part of the animal groups to which they belong. Mud skippers, tree shoes, and eyes are just a few examples. Mudskippers are fish that can live on land as well as in water. They can walk, skip, leap, dig, and swim. They can even climb trees. These fish can breathe through their mouths and their skin. Unlike other lemurs, eyes have developed teeth like rodents for chewing and long middle fingers for pulling bugs out of trees. Their long toes also allow them to hang from branches. Tree shoes like look like squirrels, but have bigger brains. Inside their bodies, they are more like primates, such as monkeys. Adapting to city life. Many animals must live in cities when cities take up the land that was once their habitats. Some animals adapt easily to city life and live longer because they can find more food there. City animals include squirrels, foxes, coyotes, coy wolves, raccoons, opossums, and skunks. Omnivores are animals that eat both plants and other animals. They have a much better chance of surviving in cities than herbivores or carnivores. Many omnivores eat almost anything they find. This raccoon omnivore is eating a pet cat's food. Red foxes are omnivores that can find plenty of animals to hunt in cities, such as squirrels, rats, and mice. They also eat plant foods. Skunks often live under people's decks or garages. They dig up grass looking for grubs to eat. Squirrels find the food they need in trees and in people's backyards. The coy wolf is part coyote and part wolf. It is bigger than a coyote and lives much longer than both animals. The coy wolf is one of the most adaptable animals on Earth. It lives in many cities, including Toronto and New York City. How do you adapt? Compare and contrast your adaptations to those of the animals in this book. Write stories about how you have adapted to changes in your life. Use some of the ideas in the box on the right. Moving to a new home, summer and winter changes, learning to swim or snowboard, being part of different groups, finding new friends, speaking a new language, learning new skills, changing your thinking.